So, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 3, Text 18. तथा अग्निद्रिये अंशकला अवतारस्यामि आत्मतुल्य अनुपल भामनः ततः. Therefore, Agnidriye, in the wife of Nabi, the son of Agnidra, Amsakalaya, by an expansion of my personal form, Avatarishyami, I shall advance myself, Atmatulyam, my equal, Anupala, Pamanaha, not finding. Since I cannot find anyone equal to me, I shall personally expand myself into a plenary portion and thus advance myself in the womb of Meru Devi, the wife of Maharaj Nabi, the son of Agnidra. Since I cannot find anyone equal to me, I shall personally expand myself into a plenary portion and thus advance myself in the womb of Meru Devi, the wife of Maharaj Nabi, the son of Agnidra. Purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This is an example of the omnipotence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he is one without a second, he expands himself by Swamsa, his personal expansion, and sometimes by Vibhinyamsa, or his separated expansion. Lord Vishnu herein agrees to send his personal expansion as the son of Meru Devi, the wife of Maharaj Nabi, who is the son of Agnidra. The Ritvijaha, the priests, knew that God is one, yet they prayed for the Supreme Lord to become the son of Maharaj Nabi, to let the world know that the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is one without a second. When he incarnates, he expands himself in different potencies. Om Jnanatirmirandasya Jnanam Jnana Shulakaya Chakshurvan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Satpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadaman Dadati Swaparandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajim Shadvitam Shavadutam Parajanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ladita Shri Vishakham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopikatanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namarom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you very much for joining in our program, Srimad Bhagavatam class. So here the Lord is explaining to the priest that since you wanted someone as your son, as equal to me, but the Lord says here, I cannot find anybody equal to me. Okay? Where in the Bhagavad Gita it says this verse? Very good. So, Bhagavad Gita, Mataha parantaram nanya kinchidasti dhananjaya mahi sarvamidam proktam sutre manigana eva. O conqueror of truth, there is no truth superior to me. Well, this doesn't say quite well, right to the point. Just says there's no truth only. So where in the Bhagavad Gita it says there's nobody equal to me. Okay, you can argue on this point, right? It says, oh conqueror, there's no truth superior to me. Not sharing the point, yes. Hello? If you go and argue with the Mayavad, you will say, hey, this isn't sure, this is truth only. Correct? Where is it? Come on. Huh? 8-9 says that he's inconceivable, he's, 1042. What is 1042? Everything rests on me with my spark. But I want a verse that says there's nobody equal to me. Today he says, Krishna says here. Where? Come on, Bhagavad Gita, hello. Huh? You remember that? Okay, so we'll go there. Huh? But it's not here, 1142. Huh? Not that, samam. That's the verse 43. 1143, you see. So you see this verse that is spoken, this is spoken by actually Arjuna, you see. You see the word now. Natvat sama. You see that? Astya abhi abhyadikaha kuto nyo lokatrayatehe apratima. This word apratima. He spoke to Zakir Naik. Yeah, this apratima, he was speaking of apratima. Yeah? You remember? You remember? Form, pratima. Huh? So you see here, tvat samaha, na tvat samaha. What is that? Equal to you. Yeah? And asti there is abhyadikaha, greater. So here you can see, they translate, you are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you. Hello? Yes? This is spot on. Yes? Nor can anyone be one with you. How then can there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds? This verse complete covers the whole thing. Yes? Hello? So 7:7 is not quite, no truth. Yes? In the Bhagavad Gita again, there's another verse, but it's quoting from the Sesvatara Upanishad. The same thing is there. You know where? 2? Huh? In this purport? Oh. Yeah, the same verse is here. This is from the Sesvatara Upanishad. Actually, the full verse is in another place in the Bhagavad Gita. 3:22. We'll go there. Of course, here it shows the point. Prabhupada is putting the point. So you can see here, Natasya karyam karnam cha vidyate, natat samas. Natat samas. No equal. Sama means what? And cha abhyadikaha dashyate. Or somebody greater or Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and a body like an ordinary man, but for him there is no difference between his sense and his body. It doesn't say this point here. Oh, here. No one can excel him. Everyone is below him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material, everyone is below him. No one can excel him. So this is the point. Of course, in the other verse, 3, so please try to remember this if someone argues with you. So at least from the Bhagavad Gita viewpoint, you know that Krishna is not somebody. You know where to go? Yes? Yeah. This is 2 verses from the same Upanishad. See, one thing about this is that here, one problem with the Upanishad is that it doesn't say who it is. They say, oh, this is referring to Shiva. Then how you will argue? Yeah, some guys they can refer to Shiva. It doesn't say the name Krishna here. So when you quote this, you got to be prepared. You understand? Huh? All the Upanishads, that's why they like the Upanishad. The Mahabharata, they like the Upanishad. Why? Because it doesn't say. You follow? Who does this refers to here? Of course, here Prabhupada purport, the Supreme Lord is the controller of all other controllers, and he is the greatest of all diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. All entities are dedicated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipable by all demigods, and he is the supreme director of all the directors. Therefore, he is transcendental to all kinds of mental leaders and controller, and is worshipable by all. There's no one greater than him, and is the supreme cause of all causes. He does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of his senses can perform the action of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence. So you see, it refers, but in the Bhagavad Gita, that's now, you cannot say that is somebody else is referring to. That's not possible. Because he's speaking directly to who? Yes. You're speaking directly to Krishna. You have no equal. You have nobody greater. So, huh? Yeah, it's absolute. There's no truth superior to me. So the truth, we're talking about. Yeah. So it is, of course, if we argue, this is the point. Of course, Prabhupada many times quotes, whenever he speaks about some superior personality, Prabhupada will always put 7-7. That's a fact, saying no. But if somebody wants to argue, but he says this is truth, no? So you can use all these arguments, right? So these verses, right? So today, the purport, Prabhupada is speaking about Vibhiniyamsa and Swamsa, the two words. So Vibhiniyamsa means Swamsa Vibhiniyamsa Rupehana Vistara Ananta Vaikunta Brahmande Garena Vikara. Krishna expands himself in many forms. Some of them are personal expansion and some are separate expansion. Thus he performed pastime in both the spiritual and material world. The spiritual world are the Vaikuntha planets, and the material universe are the Brahmandas, gigantic globals governed by Lord Brahma. Swamsa Vistarha Chatuvyaha Avataragana Viniyam Sujivadan Tandra Sakit Saktite Ganana. Expansion of his personal self, like the quadruple manifestation of Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Anuruddha, and Vasudeva, descend as incarnation from Vaikuntha to the material world. The separated expansions are the living entities. Although they are expansion of Krishna, they are counted among his different potencies. The personal expansion are known as Vishnu Tattva, and the separated expansion are known as Jiva Tattva. Although the Jiva, living entities, are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are still counted among his multipotency. This is fully described by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Aparamritastvanyam prakritim vidime param jevabhutam mahabhavo yayedam dharyate jagat. Besides this inferior nature, O mighty arm Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entity who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Although the living entities are Krishna's part and parcel, they are Prakriti, not Purusha. Sometimes Prakriti, a living entity, attempts to imitate the activities of the Purusha due to poor fund of knowledge. Living entities conditioned in the material world claim to be God. They are thus illusion. A living entity cannot be on the level of Vishnu Tattva or the personality of Godhead at any state. Therefore, it is ludicrous for a living entity to claim to be God. Advanced spiritualists would never accept such a thing. Such claims are meant to cheat ordinary foolish people. The Krishna conscious movement declares war against such bogus incarnation. The bogus propaganda put out by people claiming to be God was killed by God consciousness all over the world. Has killed God consciousness all over the world. Members of the Krishna conscious movement must be very alert to defy this rascal. Hare bro. This is the ISK and preachers specialty, who are presently misleading the whole world. One such rascal was known as Paundraka, appeared before Lord Krishna and Lord immediately killed him. Of course, those who are Krishna's servants cannot kill such imitation God, but they should try to best to defeat them through evidence of Shastra, authentic knowledge received through the disciplic succession. I think this is a very important verse. Prabhupada is giving the job for members of the. Our job is to what? Defeat. Yeah. What? To only give prasadam. What? Hello. So do you understand? There are two separate energies. One is Vibhinyamsa and the other is Samsa. Se Vibhinyamsa jive dvita prakara, eka nitya mukta, eka nitya samsara. So there are two kinds of Vibhinyamsa. The living entities, jivas, are divided into two categories. What happened? So there are two kinds of living entities. Yes? One are called eternally liberated, and the other one is called eternally conditioned, Nitya Bada. Those who are eternally liberated are always awake to Krishna consciousness, and they render transcendental service at the feet of Lord Krishna. They are to be considered eternal associates of Krishna, and they are eternally enjoying the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. They never fall down. They never. You understand? They are called Nitya Siddhas. You know, among the Goswamis, there are two Nitya Siddhas. You know who they are? Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. They are Nitya Siddhas. They are not, anyway, you can see who can write a book like Bhakti Rasam to Sindhu, Ujjwala, Nilamani. What is the other one? Vidakta Madhava, Lalita Madhava. These books are, ordinary soul cannot write that. Unless the soul is with Krishna, how is it possible? Right? Apart from the ever-liberated devotees, they are the conditioned soul who always turn away from the service of the Lord. They are perpetually conditioned in this material world and are subject to the material tribulation brought about by different bodily forms in hellish condition. This is the Nitya Badas. You can give example. Prime example ourselves. Yes, unless you are a Nitya Siddha, I don't know. You are a Nitya Siddha? Yes. Due to his being opposed to Krishna consciousness, the conditioned soul is punished by the witch of external energy Maya. is thus ready to suffer the threefold miseries brought about by the body and mind, the inimical behavior of other living entities, and natural disturbance caused by the demigods. Right? Now this is a big earthquake. Huh? So many guys have died here. They're all sleeping soundly. Usually these earthquakes happen during your sound sleep, More than how many people? Huh? More than 22,000 have died. And of course, problem caused by other living entities and problem created by your own. These are the three kleshas. You know the technical term for that? Adi-atmic, Adi-bhautik. Ah, very good. In this way, the conditioned soul becomes the lusty servant of becomes the servant of lusty desires, and when thus not fulfilled, it becomes the servant of anger and continues to be kicked by the external energy Maya. Wandering and wandering throughout the universe, he may by chance get the association of a devotee physician whose instruction and hymns make the witch of the external energy flee. The conditioned soul thus gets into touch with the devotional service of Lord Krishna, and this way he can approach nearer and nearer to the Lord. So this is the way the conditioned soul can So here this purport, we'll just read the purport. An explanation of verse 8 through 15 is given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Prabhaha Bhasya. The Lord is spread throughout the creation in his honorable expansion and incarnation. Krishna is fully represented with all potencies, each and every personal extension, but the living entity, although separated expansion, are also considered one of the Lord's energy. The living entities are divided into two categories, the eternally liberated and the eternally conditioned. Those who are ever liberated never come in contact with Maya, the eternal and the external energy. The ever conditioned souls are always under the clutches of external energy. This is described by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, Devi Shagunamaya, Mamamaya, Krutyaya. This divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. The Nitya Baddhas are always conditioned by the external energy, and the Nitya Muktas never come in contact with the external energy. Sometimes an ever liberated person, associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, descends into this universe just as the Lord descends. Although working for the liberation of conditioned soul, the messenger of the Supreme Lord remains untouched by the material energy. Generally, ever-liberated personalities live in the spiritual world as associates of Lord Krishna, and they are known as Krishna Parisada, associates of the Lord. Their only business is enjoying Lord Krishna's company, and even though such eternally liberated persons come within this material world to serve the Lord's purpose, they enjoy Lord Krishna's company without stoppage. The ever-liberated person who works on Krishna's behalf enjoys Lord Krishna's company through his engagement. The ever-conditioned soul provoked by lusty desire to enjoy the material world is forced to transmigrate from one body to another. Sometimes he is elevated to higher planetary system, and sometimes is degraded to hellish planets and subject to the tribulations of the external energy. Due to being conditioned by the external energy, the conditioned soul within this material world get two kinds of body: a gross material body and a subtle material body composed of mind, intelligence, and ego. Due to the gross and subtle body is subject to the threefold miseries, adhyatmic, adibhautic, and adidevic. Miseries arising from the body and mind, other living entities, natural disturbance caused by demigods from higher planet system, the conditioned soul subject to the threefold material misery is ceaseless, kicked by Maya, and this is his disease. If by chance he meets a saintly person who works on Krishna's behalf to deliver conditioned soul, and if he agrees to abide by his order, he can gradually approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. See? Bhaktivinoda Thakur has summarized this thing. Now, very important point here in this purport is that you can see that the Nitya Siddhas who come to deliver, I mean, that description fits Prabhupada exactly. Don't you think so? Hello? Huh? See how Prabhupada is explaining, he didn't say, but actually it is meaning who? You understand? And it's not something that you can imitate, you know. That's why our stand is to put Prabhupada in the front. And Prabhupada has also done this ritual system of initiation. They all say, oh, it's never done before, who this and that, all kind of crazy arguments. Yeah? But from this purport, you can see why he can do it. Because he's a, let's read it again, come on. I think it's very important, this point. Huh? The Nitya Badas are always conditioned by the external energy, and the Nitya Muktas never come in contact with the external energy. Isn't that? Sometimes an ever liberated person, personal associate of the Supreme Personality of God, it descends into this universe just as the Lord descends. Okay? Although working for the liberation of conditioned soul, the messenger of the Supreme Lord remains untouched by the material energy. Again, Maya cannot influence him. Just like Krishna is not influenced by the Maya, liberated souls are also not. Okay? Generally, ever liberated personalities live in the spiritual world as associates of Lord Krishna, and they are known as Krishna Parisada. Associates of the Lord, their only business is enjoying Lord Krishna's company, and even though such eternally liberated persons come within this material world to serve the Lord's purpose, they enjoy Lord Krishna's company without stoppage. Come on. See this? The ever liberated person who works on Krishna's behalf enjoys Lord Krishna's company through his engagement. Last point. You understand? It is not something so cheap, you know, that you become a next guru in line or this or that. Unless you are Krishna Parisada, he says here, Prabhupada use this word. I think we should take this purport out and put it out, you know. Right? You think your guru is in this category? Yes. Huh? Hello? You understand? They come to help the conditioned soul, you know. So I think this 5 verses cover this point. Kamarina Katita, this is a famous verse. Huh? So now you understand the position of the Vibhiniyamsas. Huh? You understand that? You can remember these verses, huh? 22 huh? until 8, 9, 10 to 15. Explains about the Vibhiniyamsas. Now let us go to the Swamsa. Huh? This is even more technical, you know. I'm sorry, we are this Prabhupada's purport. So here, he was here. Give me a minute. Huh? Two, yeah. No, 245. Two, huh? 245. I made a mistake. Huh? So here, There are 6 types of incarnation, avatars of Krishna. One comprises the incarnation of Vishnu, Purusha avatar. Another comprises of incarnation meant for the performance of pastime, Leela avatar. Hmm? There are incarnations that control the material qualities, Guna avatar. Incarnation associated with the reign of each Manu, Manvanta avatar. An incarnation in different millennium, Yuga avatar. An incarnation and empowered living entities, Satya Vaishya avatar. So there are 6 kind of, right? You understand? The Guna avatars are 3: Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:88-3. Huh? The avatar associate, let's go there. Shiva Shakti Yukta Saswat Trilingo Guna Samritaha Vaikarika Taijyascha Tamasa Chetyaham Trida. Lord Sri Sukadev said, Lord Shiva is always united with his personal energy, the material nature, manifesting himself in 3 features in response to entreaties of nature's 3 modes. He thus embodies the 3 principles of material ego in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Why Prabhupada quoted this verse? Huh? And huh? Maybe number is wrong. Huh? Sometimes it happens. They were trying to produce this book so fast. The avatar associated with the reign of each Manu is known as Manvantara avatar, as listed as follows in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapters 1, 5, and 13. Yajna. These are all Manvantara avatars. That means in every Manu, you know, one day of Lord Brahma got how many Manus? Hello? Don't know. How many Manus are there in one day of Brahma? Huh? Not 15? You sure? How many Manus? 14 Manus. Okay. So the names are given Yajna, Vibhu, Satyasena, Hari, Vaikunta, Ajita, Vamana, Sarvabhauma, Rishabha, Viswaksena, Dharmasetu, Sudama, Yogeshwara, Brahad Bhanu. All together they are 14 in number. And of these, Yajna and Vamana are also counted among the Lila avatar. All these Manvanta incarnations are sometimes called Vaibhava avatars. The 4 Yuga avatars are Sukla, white, Satya, 11.5.21. What is that? 11.5.21? For the colors, huh? In Treta Yuga, what color is he? White in Sukla. Huh? Satya Yuga is white. And then he is red in Treta Yuga. Then he is what? Shama. Dark blue in Dwapara Yuga. And generally, Krishna, black. But in special cases, Pitta, yellow, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga. So you see all the references are quoted there. You can take a, go there and read them yourself. Huh? The Satya Vaishya avatars are categorized into forms of divine absorption. Bhagavat Avesha, such as Kapila Dev or Rishabh Dev. So the incarnation that he is praying for is actually a Satya Vaishya avatar. Empowered living entity. Yes? Kapila is also Bhagavat Avesha, divinely empowered form, Satya Vaishya, of whom 7 are foremost. Sheshanaga in Vaikuntha world, Right? In Vaikuntha world is called Sheshanaga, and in this material world is called Ananta Sesh. Empowered for the personal service of the Supreme Lord. Swa Sevana Shakti. Ananta Deva, empowered to bear. This is the material. Right? To bear all the planets within the universe is called Bhudharana Shakti. So, 7 of them, each one got one particular. Lord Brahma, empowered with the energy to create the cosmic manifestation, is called Srishti Shakti. Chatursana of the 4 Kumaras, especially, specifically empowered to distribute transcendental knowledge, Jnana Shakti. Narada Muni, empowered to distribute devotional service, is called Bhakti Shakti. And Maharaj Prithu, especially empowered to rule and maintain living entities, is called Palana Shakti. So this is all very technical. I mean, you can go to this chapter in reference. And Parsuram specifically empowered to cut down rogues and demons is Dhamana Shakti. Dushta Dhamana Shakti. So there are 7 of these Shaktis, empowered living entities. Childhood and boyhood are typical ages of the deity Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda. Perform his pastime as a child and as a boy. Only one person do this pastime. Who? No others do childhood pastime. Have you seen that they say Lord Ram? Lord Ram have childhood pastime? Immediately the chapter begins when he is taken to where? Vishwamitra came and took him to where? Forest. To start killing that what? 2 demons. Right? There are innumerable incarnations of Krishna and there's no possibility of counting them. We can simply indicate them by giving the example of a moon and the branches of a tree. Although the moon appears to be located in the branches of a tree, it's actually situated very far away. Similarly, none of the avatars or incarnation of Lord Krishna are within the material world, but they are visible by the causeless mercy of the Lord. We should not consider them to belong to the material world, as stated by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, Avajanante mam muda manusyam tanamashritam. Param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwara. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transformed nature, the supreme Lord of all that be. Avatars descend of their own free will. Although they may act like ordinary human beings, they do not belong to this material world. Lord Krishna and his avatar can be understood only by the grace of the Lord. That's a famous verse. Nayamatma pravachayana labho na medya na bahuna sutrena yameva sivinute tena labhya trasya atma vinute tanusyam. Supreme Lord is not obtained by means of expert explanation, vast intelligence, or even much hearing. He is obtained only by one whom he himself chooses. To such a person, he manifests his own form. This explains that these guys are arguing, with you. Remember this? What? You cannot try to figure out God. That's not possible. You cannot. You understand? Unless he what? Reveals himself to you. And he will only reveal if he chooses you. How he will choose you? You have to show your sincerity. Yes? How? By first serving his dearmost devotee. That's why they say, how can I surrender? There's so many, nonsense in your scriptures, whatnot. It doesn't matter. You understand? You have to surrender. Then the revelations will come. Not that you have to reveal to you, then you will surrender. Krishna doesn't work like that. Why I should reveal to you? Why, you got 10 heads or what? Huh? Come on. If you got 10 heads, I will kill you. You follow? We have to understand this. Recite this verse here. Tapite deva padambuja dvaya prasada lesa anugrita eva he janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachan pieko pichuran vichinvan. By my Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. To tell you honestly, those who study all these Vedas, they become so confused. Huh? What do you call them? The Chaturvedis? Huh? What other title they got? They call themselves what? Chaturvedis, yeah? What else? And he's pulling the tela. His name is Chaturvedi and he's pulling the tela. Huh? Correct? Yes? What kind of Chaturvedi is that? Huh? Oh yeah, it's Chatur Chela. Oh, learned Brahmanas, just as hundreds and thousands of small rivulets issue from great reservoir of water, innumerable incarnations flow from Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all power. This verse is quoted from the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.26. In the beginning, Krishna incarnates himself as Purusha avatar or Vishnu incarnation. There are three types. Someone was asking me the question, where is the verse that shows that, the Ramanujas, they preach that Krishna came from Vishnu? Yeah? Do you know that? Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu. Yeah, but see here, in the beginning, Krishna incarnated himself as the Purusha avatar. Krishna comes as who? What is this? Or Vishnu incarnation. Eh? Up to this verse, there are many types of expansion that has been described. Now the manifestation of the Lord, different potencies will be described. This is getting very technical. You have to bear with me because explain this point. Vishnu has three forms called Purusha avatars. The first is Mahavishnu, the creator of the total material energy, Mahan. The second is Garbhodashki Vishnu, is situated within each universe. And the third is Kshirodashki Vishnu, who lives in the heart of every living being. He who knows these three becomes liberated from the clutches of Maya. You know this point? This is this is the verse. This verse is quoted in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 3. I think 3 or 4. Purport. So this verse is there. Prabhupada quote this verse there. You see that? Is that 3:7:3:7:4? So this is a very important verse. Why Prabhupada quoted this verse? Because some guys will argue. You understand? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That's why usually when I explain this, I show the first canto picture, Easier for his brain, You see, actually in the Brahma Samhita it is there. Golukanami Jidami Chatale Chatasya, So which is the highest planet? Correct? And then where is the Devi Dham? Mahesha Haridam. Haridam is Vaikunta. Then what is that? Next one? Mahesh Dham. That is who's the boat? In between. And then finally there is what Dham? Devi Dham. Devi Dham is our place here. So how can the topmost planet where Krishna is in the Goluka, he can become what? an avatar of Vishnu. Does it make sense? So this is how another way we can, This verse appears in the Lagu Bhagavadamrita Purva Kanda, where it has been quoted from the Satvata Tantra. This is my words will not accept. What is this Tantra? We want Upanishads. Huh? Yeah. Then they will see the word. Is it mentioned? Yeah. You have to go to chapter 10. Chapter 10, Bhagavad Gita, text 8. All this quoted by Prabhupada. So you arguing, Krishna has unlimited potency, out of which three are chief: willpower, power of knowledge, and creative energy. So Krishna got these three very powerful energies. What do you call it? Ichcha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. Krishna got these three Shaktis. Of course, you have many Shaktis, but these three are chief, The predominator of the willing potency is Lord Krishna. For his supreme will, everything comes into existence. In willing, there is a need of knowledge, and that knowledge is expressed through Vasudeva. See how the Lord expands himself. There is no possibility of creation without thinking, feeling, and willing, knowledge and activity. The combination of the supreme will, knowledge, and action brings about the cosmic manifestation. Lord Shankarshan is Lord Balaram, being the predominator of the creative energy. He creates both the material and spiritual world. The original Shankarshan, Lord Balaram, is the cause of both the material and spiritual creation. He is the predominating deity of egoism, and by the will of Krishna and the power of the spiritual energy, he creates the spiritual world, which consists of the planet Goloka Vrindavan and Vaikuntha planets. See how the creation. Who is making this? Krishna's will. Although there is no question of creation as far as the spiritual world is concerned, the spiritual world nonetheless manifested by the supreme will of Shankarshan. The spiritual world is the abode of the pastimes of the eternal spiritual energy. Goloka, the supreme abode and planet, appears like a lotus flower and has 1,000 petals. The whole of the lotus is the whole of the supreme Lord Krishna. Thus, lotus-shaped supreme Lord is created by the will of Lord Ananta. By the agency of material energy, the same Lord Shankarshan creates all the universe. The dull material energy known as modern language as nature is not the cause of material universe. Very important point. We say Mother Nature, correct? But actually, the one who doing all this is Lord Shankarshan. Without the Supreme Personality of God's energy, dull matter cannot create the cosmic manifestation. Its power does not arise from material energy itself, but is endowed by Shankarshan. You understand? All this gravity and all this thing you explain. All this coming from where? Yeah, these Mayavads, they always try to what? Do away with God. Yeah, the whole system is to nullify God. It just says what? Don't bring your theistic philosophy here. We are secular. Right? So this is atheism. This is what? That is very offensive. Dull matter alone cannot create anything. Material energy produces the creation by the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Iron itself has no power to burn, but when iron is placed in fire, it is empowered to burn. I was always looking for this verse, Prabhupada always quote this fire to burn, right? It is coming from here, see? Balaram and Krishna are the original efficient and material causes of the material world. As Mahavishnu and the material energy, they enter into the material element and create diversities by material energies, multi energies. Thus, they are the cause of all causes. This is why in the Krishna pastime, he stole the 10 sons of the Brahmin, right? And Krishna was not bothered. And he would go every day and curse. He would go what? Every time the child dies, he'll go to Krishna and he will curse him. Do you know? He'll go there and he will curse, and 9 died. Then when the 10th one died, Arjuna was there. Arjuna was there. And as usual, Arjuna, I'll protect you. Krishna is sitting here, he cannot protect. No, you don't compare me. I with my Gandiva bow, I will, Yeah.
Because Krishna was there, so he thought that when you worship Shiva, so you worship Shiva.
Yeah, the story goes on that he took the what? Vow to without the next child, if I cannot protect, I will jump. As usual, he will jump into the fire. That's all he knows. Every time he jumps into the fire. So again, the child came and he died. And then this Brahmin said, see, I depend on you. You're a eunuch. My fault. I depended on a eunuch like you. Arjuna was terrified. Actually Arjuna, he knew that Krishna is not giving the protection. He went and took shelter of Lord Shiva. It did not work also. So say Arjuna is prepared to go to the fire. Of course, Krishna will not let his good friend die. So okay, you come with me. So they went. And you see, Krishna is not even bothered to go and see who? He is not bothered. If one child died, 10 child died, a big deal, Huh? But Vishnu was very anxious to see. You understand? This shows the supremacy of. Understand? Because they go there and then they retrieve the 10 sons, This verse is quoted in the Bhagavatam 10:46-31. Right? This is important. 10:36-41. The form of the Lord that descends in the material world to create is called an avatar or incarnation. All the expansion of Lord Krishna are actual residents of the spiritual world. But when they descend to the material world, they are called incarnation, avatar. You have to bear with me. I want to finish this section because it's quite an important section actually. To glance over the material energy and empower her, Lord Shankrishna first incarnates as Lord Mahavishnu. In the beginning of the creation, the Lord expanded himself in the form of Purusha incarnation, accompanied by all the ingredients of material creation. First, he created 16 principal energies suitable for creation. This was for the purpose of manifesting the material universes. So if you want to know the 16 energies, these are the 16 energies of the Lord. These 16 spiritual energies are present in the spiritual world. Sri, Bhu, Leela, Kanti. You see, normally you go to the south, the Ramanuja temples, they have Vishnu, the deity, and they always on the chest they have 2 personality, Sri Devi and Bhu Devi. Have you seen? Common in our South Indian form of the Lord. So Sri, Bhu, Leela, Kanti, Kriti, Tusti, Gir, Pushti, Satya, Jnana, Jnana, Jaya, Utkarshini, Vimala, hello, Yogamaya, Pravi, Isana, and Anugraha. So these are the 16 energies of the. So if someone.
What are the purposes of this energy?
They explain in this. Each one has got the purpose. Also by 9 names, so the 9 names are also here. All these energies act in different spheres of the Lord's supremacy. Each one has got a purpose. You know, I think you have to go and further, do the research to find out which one does what. I think it is mentioned also. I read it, but I don't know where it is. So you have to. Uh, what? Bhudevi. No, no. Bhu Sakti. She should be maybe in charge of, the material. You have to do the research for that. What? What is that? Where is this coming from? Mayapur. Huh? Chaitanya Bhagavad. So this chapter goes up to 400 verses. I'm trying to find the one that's dealing with today's incarnation, so that we quickly run through it. Time is a factor. So in this whole chapter, all the incarnations are explained. So I mean, we are running out of time now. So I would recommend you to have some time to read this chapter. So here, there's one part here that Sanatan Goswami, he was trying to, you know, so here in this verse, very important, Sanatan Goswami said, the color of the personality in whom the characteristic of the Lord are found is yellowish. His activities include the distribution and love of God and enchanting of the holy names of the Lord. The incarnation of Krishna for this age is indicated by this symptom. Please confirm this definitely so that all my doubts will go away. Sanatan Goswami wanted to confirm the fact that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of Krishna for this age. According to the Shastra, in Kali Yuga, the Lord would assume a golden or yellow color and distribute love for Krishna and the Sankirtan movement. In accordance with the Shastra and saintly person, these characteristics were vividly displayed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is therefore clear that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an incarnation of Krishna is confirmed by the Shastra and his characteristics were accepted by saintly people. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not escape Sanatan Goswami's argument, he remained silent on this point. and thereby indirectly accepted Sanatana's statement. By this, we can clearly understand that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the direct incarnation of Lord Krishna. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Oh Sanatan, you must give up your intelligent tricks." See how the Lord now just try to understand the description of Satyabhash avatar. So he goes to explain, I was going to show you one verse. I think that verse is, Ekat Tvena incarnation, what is, but just here, I don't know, I just saw this now. I think it's, let me get back to you quickly. All right, I guess I'll find that and let you know, huh? Here it is, 165. I think here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead exists in three principal forms: Swayam Rupa, Eka Atma Rupa, and Avesha Rupa. I think we did cover this. Did we cover this? No. Did we? No. Eh? Rupa Goswami has described the Swayam Rupa in Laghu Bhagavatamrita Purva Kanda, verse 12. Ananyapekshariya Rupa Swayam Rupa Sayuchate. The form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that does not depend on other form is called the Swayam Rupa, the original form. This form is also described in Srimad Bhagavatam in Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That Krishna's form as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan is the original form of the Personality of Godhead. Swayam Rupa is confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Paramaha Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadi Govinda, Sarvataram. There's nothing superior to Govinda, is the ultimate source and the cause of all causes. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita where Lord Krishna says, Mata Parantaram Nanjat, there's no true superior to me. The Eka Atma Rupa forms are also described in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita Purva Khanda verse 14. Yat rupam tara bedena swarupena virajate akrityadibir anyadriksha tad ekatma rupakaha. That the ekatma rupa form exists simultaneously with the Swayam Rupa form and are non-different. At the specific time, their bodily features and specific activity appear to be different. The Tat Ekatma Rupa forms are divided into two categories: Swamsa and Vilasa. Today, the subject, Swamsa. Lord Krishna's Avesha forms are also explained in Laghu Bhagavatamrita. A living entity who is specifically empowered by the Lord with knowledge or strength is technically called Avesha Rupa, as stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishna Shakti Vina Naitara Pravartana. Unless a devotee is specifically empowered by the Lord, he cannot preach the holy name of the Lord all over the world. This is an explanation of the word Avesha Rupa. The original form of Lord Swayam Rupa is exhibited in two forms, Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakasha. In his original form as Swayamrupa, Krishna is observed as the cowherd boy in Vrindavan. In his original form, Krishna manifests himself in two features, Prabhava and Vaibhava. He expands in his one original form into many, as he did during the Rasa Leela dance. When the Lord married 16,108 wives at Dwaraka, he expanded himself to many forms. These expansions and the expansion at the Rasa dance are called Prabhava Prakasha according to the direction of revealed scriptures. The Prabhava Prakasha expansion of Lord Krishna are not like the expansion that sage Sabari. Had they been so, Narada would not have been astonished to see them. It is astounding that Lord Sri Krishna, who is one without a second, expanded himself in 16,000 similar forms to marry 16,000 queens in their respective homes. If one form or feature is differently manifest according to different emotional feature, it is called Vaibhava Prakasha. When the Lord expands himself in innumerable forms, there is no difference in the form, but due to different features, bodily colors and weapons, the names are different. So, then he goes on to explain all the different, he holding the weapons, if he holds, So you can read all of this in this chapter here. We are running out of time here too, So here, this is one more. The first manifestation of the Vaibhava feature of Krishna is Sri Balaramji. Sri Balaram and Krishna have different bodily color, but otherwise Sri Balaram is equal to Krishna in all respects, except for the color. So I would recommend you to read this whole thing, Swayam Rupa, Eka, Atma Rupa is divided, Swamsa, Vilasa. So the Vilasa Rupa is all the Prabhava division, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna. And then the Vilasa Rupa, the incarnations such as the fish, tortoise, boar, and Narashima. So explains all these avatars, The 12 tilak mark on the body is also incarnation. See? So when he holds the hands in different hands, in different names, it's very technical. I would recommend you to go and read this chapter. I'm sorry it took so much time. I know you are confused by today's class. That was my idea, to confuse you. Because the word Swamsa and Vijiniyamsa was there. I had to explain that. All right, so thank you very much. I don't think you have questions. All right, then we stop here then.